Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, and today I'm joined again by Lynn, my partner, Wii cosplayer. Um, so we're going to do a review of Lux. We've just finished watching it. Finished it an hour ago. We kind of had a bit of an argument about it afterwards, which good thing it's not ending up in this review. But yeah, we've watched Lux, and I'm gonna let Lynn go first here because we feel very different about it. And from what I was hearing about it, in terms of what people were thinking about it, I knew regardless Lynn was going to probably on that side of it. I don't know anyone yet, or have heard from anyone yet, who has the same opinion as me, but my opinion is probably the one that people don't want to hear, which is I didn't enjoy it overall. We'll come on to that, but I think it started off well. So I'm going to let Lynn go first because she has more positive things to say about it. And if there's anything I feel like I need to elaborate on, or my opinion of positives, I'll elaborate. But she's got some things, there's some questions about it that she wants to go into, and we're going to transition into, well, why I didn't like the second half of it. Right. So I'm going to let you go first. So, what did you think overall, and why did you like it?
Well, I really enjoyed it. Well, for me, I'm an old fan of old cartoons, and even though they are problematic.
Yeah.
But for me, it's a window into history. It's a window into how people lived and how things were done back then. Even if you look at all the old wartime propaganda and stuff, it's a window into history and into people's lives. So for that reason, I knew from the minute it was announced I was going to love it. And having Al coming back, is an amazing opportunity. He's such a great actor.
Yeah, he is.
And the boy was done so well,
I know.
that if we didn't know it was him, you probably wouldn't tell. Now, I know he's lived in America, probably, I'm not sure, I think it might be LA, or New York, one of the two. For many years, but he's still got the Scottish accent. He's never left him. It might be slightly Americanised over the years, but it's still thick Scottish accent.
Yeah, I know.
So you could be able to recognise a voice like that anywhere.
Yeah, I know.
But with that, you could not.
No, I know.
Which is amazing for anybody that may struggle to understand the Scottish accent.
Yeah. No, to me, Alan was the best thing about it, voicing Mr. Reynardine. That song's stuck in my head because to me that was the whole best thing. That's the reason why I was most excited for it. It was all that because I love the style of it, and it's just nice to see actual decent, fluid, expensive animation in Doctor Who for once. Because
I'm not so happy with the making episode animations.
Yeah, because I know they're made on the cheap, which is fine. That's completely fine. But I guess because I'm used to watching like Disney animation, I expect it to look really fluid and good and expensive. And when I found out that they were going to be doing something like that, I was like, oh, it's going to be so nice to just actually sit there. But he wasn't completely fluid. He had that sort of like sort of pop film, like sort of like old movement style to him. I don't know if you even noticed as well, but see on the cutout, like the animation of him, he had sort of like old film flicker as well, which was amazing. I don't know if you noticed that, which is really cool.
But it's one of those ones I did like using the 3 or maybe 4, I'm not sure how many there were there, different styles of animation all being used. Yeah. Which was beautifully done.
It was.
But I just wish, God, other than Reynardine being the star of the show, I would hyped up the we're going to see a lot more of the animation. Yeah. I would have loved to have seen that. Yeah. Not doubting everything in that first half. It was amazing that first half. I just wish we've seen a lot more of that, because that was meant to be the whole point of
I know.
what they were trying to give us. Yeah. Because if you look at any trailer,
Yeah.
Any bit of promotion. Staff will
promotion,
hyping up.
Yeah.
And then we only got, what, maybe 5 minutes of it, if that.
If you combine all the screen footage, probably about 7
No,
minutes.
not talking about the Villain stuff, just the two.
Oh, it's less than 5 minutes, but
I
yeah.
know, I was a rough estimate, but something along those lines.
Yeah, no, that's... God, we're already going into negatives. I just want to quite elaborate.
But it was an interesting concept, though.
Yeah, Doctor's never done it. So.
And I liked the fact that with a lot of it, the work jabbing at it, going, haha, you're the reason why this is happening. You're the reason why this is happening.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we know we're problematic, but we're not all that problematic.
Yeah. Obviously, I mean, like, ever since we've seen ever since we saw it, because we've seen them filming that last year, as in, like, when they were outside the cinema and stuff, we saw filming pictures and videos of that, and I was like, oh, what's this going to be about? So I was curious, because it was old style and the past history. And when we all clocked that it was from the episode of the cartoon, you know, seeing trailers and promotion stuff, I was like, oh, okay, well, this might be interesting. And see, this is the thing I completely agree with. They hyped up that, like, because what I really wanted, we'll go into the fandom stuff when we come to it, but I really wish that time was dedicated to just more of, like, fucking flashy, amazing, like, cartoon visuals. Like, could you imagine what they could have done with that? Like, the film reel shit, like, the film reels, can you imagine if, like, little cartoons were coming out of that and stuff? Like, to me, they had a really good opportunity to make some crazy fucking wacky visuals, like Kinda from the Davison era, which Lynn has not seen, but you know what I'm talking about with that. The fucking visuals in that are psychedelic as fucking amazing. And because this is a cartoon, I wanted extravagant, you know, like filling up half the screen, or maybe the whole room became animated. I wanted stuff like that.
Yeah, it was also what I think was kind of missing from the animation as well was, if you look at the villains of old animation, they're brutal.
Yeah.
Because they're sort of in that sort of melodrama style. So a lot of them you will have good guy, hero, villain, melodrama structure.
Oh, so did you feel that was lacking?
It was lacking because even though Villain was the villain. He could have hyped up just a lot.
Yeah.
And have made it more melodrama.
Yeah.
Evil, mustache, twirling type.
Yeah.
That's what we needed. Because that is the old style of doing cartoons.
No, it is. Oh, sorry, I'm scratching.
And then also as well, the whole orientated through a god shining through the moonlight. Like, perfectly fine concept.
Yeah,
But did it need to take so long for them to go, what do we fight again? What do we fight again? We need the sunlight.
Yeah, I know.
Took a bit longer than it needed.
Way too long to fucking... Because it was pretty obvious.
Yeah, and even the whole burning the videos.
Yeah, it's like, why didn't just...
Could have been done a lot earlier. Could have been done a lot earlier then as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's two things there that easily defeat them, which they kind of mentioned in the fandom scene, like, oh, we know this is how this is going to end. So maybe this is RTD being Moffat and, you know, go like, oh, you know what I'm going to do because I'm being really clever. But it's just like, from the fucking off with the bloody moonlight, even in the pre-credit scene before the titles came up, shining moonlight, and, you know, I mean, I liked how, obviously, there was that little timer, ring, spoon, ding, ring that ding. That was clever. I like that.
Yeah, it was clever.
I like that. I like that little like notion in the screen of like ring that ding. Yeah, it's clever. That's clever. But yeah, obviously projected moonlight. Okay, yeah, fine. But when we discover that from the off, and even when we get to the fandom scene, which is like maybe 10, 15 minutes later, it's like, yeah, we know that's how it's gonna happen. It's either sunlight or burning the film reels. It's like that Joy to the World thing. It took way too long to come to
walked up in a time far longer than we needed to be.
It took way too long to get to the the point.
And saying that, I felt like it was done slightly better in that sense.
Oh no, I'd agree with
because
that.
it didn't feel like they were dragging it out for the sake of dragging it out.
No, I'd agree with that.
I think they were dragging it out just enough. They could have done it a lot earlier, and probably should have done it a lot earlier, but it was dragged out just enough to fill the time slot that they needed to fill.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with that.
But with the whole fan stuff and...
We'll come on to that. Oh, what were you going to say?
No,
Were you about to go into the fandom stuff? Oh no.
Carrying on. Please. Because with the whole fandom stuff, the minute we seen it, I just had to bust out laughing. It was just how hilarious they get, how crappy the fandom is at times on the fact that they pick at every little thing and forget that Doctor Who's ever changed and nothing works 100%. Different writers come in because it continues drama. When they're going to have different writers with different ideas, with different things, going to kind of focus fun at the fact that, haha, we know what you're like, but give it a rest a little. Like, just enjoy it.
You're one to talk. I'm one to talk of that as well, but yeah, because we had an argument after watching it, and that proved exactly the fucking point that I was trying to make. Whether or not that was manipulating the audience into arguing with each other afterwards to elaborate on that point, I don't know. But this is what I hate. This is what I really hate. R2D's wrote a bit of drama and he's proved the point afterwards by us two arguing about it. So that's fandom. Anyway.
Please write it in your hand.
What?
Please write it in your hand.
Yeah. I hate that because it worked. Anyway. But we'll come back to the fandom stuff properly and how I've because I feel like I need to say a lot about that. The thing that apart from Mr. Reynardine, who I did love, was such a cool concept. I love the way he moves, the way he talks, like how he speaks like, he's still in the fucking cartoon, but he's actually part of our world, it was fantastic. And then the whole don't make me laugh thing, which that was a great reveal.
It took a few moments.
To click
on.
Yeah.
But once we got the piece of the puzzle, it's like, oh,
yeah.
So is this the big three we're talking about? Does this so face?
Yeah.
Because it was more obvious that was where they were heading, other than some of the other ideas of being Master Rani and stuff like that. I'm not saying the Rani might not play a part somewhere. Just it was mentioned, but
yeah,
I think it's only because I've seen him. He might play a part somewhere, but not be the focus point. I think it is Toymaker,
Maestro,
and Reynardine will be the three. But I'll hope it worked out from that as well. If you actually look at it, I don't know where they're heading, which is a bit of an odd one, because if you think about it, you've got God of Games.
Yeah, this was a good point. She
God
realised.
of Music, and then he's the God of Light, but let's say, but he's 48 to use with film.
Yeah.
Let's say God of Film.
Yeah.
All forms of entertainment.
Yeah.
So what's left? Because all other forms of entertainment, if you take theatre, or you take carnivals, you take fairs, you name it, it's all one of the three categories.
Three categories,
so, where are we heading? Because yes, we still have the tooth thing to figure out the link to this, but I don't think we'll get that right now.
It won't be
we'll
this
get
season.
That maybe a few seasons later.
Yeah.
And then I think the Missing Flood stuff will start. We know we're getting answers this season.
Yeah.
So I think Missing Flood might be like true there, but it might not be the full link to her.
Yeah.
It might just be she might just be part of this to some small degree. It might be how she becomes the forefront of what to come after her after this.
Obviously, her popping up at the end,
that was hilarious.
Yes, I mean we have been told obviously that she will appear in every single episode this season, but I kind of forgot about her until she just ran. It was like, see, that's it's doing the mystery, right? She's just out of nowhere, random, and that's how it should be. But like I kind of forgot about her for the whole episode, and this is just me being me. I would have liked to have seen her animated.
Oh yeah,
that would have been such a good opportunity.
But if they were going to animate her, they have to animate her in the white fur coat.
Fur coat.
You have to.
Yeah. I really wanted to see her animated, but I liked her appearance at the end. It was just random. It was funny, but it was like, oh, you know, she was like, "Oh, you want a good show? Follow that. Breaking the fourth wall again. You ain't seen me." Yeah, you get what they're trying to do with
I
this.
like the pink outfit as well.
Yeah.
That was nice.
The forms of entertainment thing. I wonder if that's going to come back in the Interstellar Song Contest.
Might.
Because that's the last episode before the finale, so it is entertainment, isn't it? So
no, we're getting 8. We're getting 8 this year.
Yeah, and there's a 2-part finale, and then
2-part finale. Right,
yeah, and the Interstellar Song Contest 6, so that's before the finale.
I wanted to say it was still like 2 parts this season.
But I wonder if they'll seed that in it, because we know Mrs. Flood is in the audience from what we've seen the trailers, obviously. So
I want to.
Have you not seen that? No.
I might have, but I might not have remembered.
No, she's in the audience.
Maybe you can't remember everything you see.
We know that. Yeah, but I love Mr. Reynardine. Again, the way he moved, the fluid animation, the way he speaks, and yeah, like, you know, sort of talking like he's inside, you know, the fine but real life. And then the whole "don't make me laugh" thing. That clip they released a couple of days ago, I've watched on repeat, and I've been quoting it, you know, "don't make me laugh" and stuff.
I had to start this scene up because they were quoting it. Yeah. I was trying to watch the bloody damn thing. Like, I've not seen this yet, shut up.
But when it came to the when it came to him saying that on repeat, I'm trying to think. It might have been yesterday, or literally the day before, but literally, like, in the last few seconds of that, you know, when he kept saying it on repeat, "don't make me laugh," and it was like, why shouldn't he laugh? And then it just, my brain sort of maybe didn't fully clock it, but I was like, oh wait, is it? And then obviously you hear it, yeah, of course, you know, it should have been pretty obvious to us that it was going to be that, you know, the ha 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 laugh. But yeah, cool that, you know, obviously we didn't know he's a god of something at all, so that was a nice reveal. I like that. I like how we're adding more to that as this year is going. Maestro was new and he was new, obviously. Toymaker I thought was done justice. Sutekh is obviously not part of the entertainment or those 3 gods, but he is the god of death. But they've done at least, well, I think Toymaker's been the best one in terms of doing them, just in my opinion, justice. Maestro was good though, but the other 2 I'm sort of like, because I'm disappointed with Reynardine's resolution in this, which we'll come to. The one thing we've not mentioned yet, and I really liked how they brought us up, it was probably my other favourite part of the episode, apart from Reynardine and Alan. Obviously, the Doctor and Belindra are, you know, another colour of skin.
Yeah. The whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I kind of knew the minute we realised we were in 52.
Cool. Yeah.
I knew right away they were going to mention it somewhere. But they made the big point right at the very, very beginning of the episode. It was 4 a.m.
4 a.m. Yeah.
So if it was going to get mentioned, it was going to be very brief.
Yeah.
Because there's not enough people around to make a big scene of it.
But yeah,
thank
exactly.
God.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but that never really occurred to me, like, in terms of, because obviously, like, for example, you know, like, Ncuti as the Doctor, he's not been in a past point of history yet where he would be getting really digged at for that, if you know what I'm saying. Like, he was in the 60s, and, you know,
and things were better then.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting. He was in the 60s, obviously, in Devil's Cord, but things were starting to get a bit better.
And if you also notice in the diner, he tells her about the problem, and that he's the problem.
Yeah.
That he has the problem.
Yeah.
And forgetting that he's also part of the problem. Because even though you had, and you know he's changed skin colour, he's still not seen it.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's kind of one of those ones. I think the Doctor's still got a learning curve to go.
Yeah.
On the fact that he's got to recognise the fact that the same problems that everyone else is facing, he's now facing because he is of colour. And the only time you really seen that really was Dot and Bubble.
Yeah, that's what I was about.
And it was minor, and even in that.
I was about to come on to that.
So how can you recognise himself as a different skin colour then and not recognise himself here? Because what he should have said was, we rather than you in that moment. That was the problem.
Hope you enjoyed that. I was hoping she would say more. Yeah. I was about to come on to that Dot and Bubble. Hold on. Right. So we have not really had a story in this era yet where we tap into that. Yeah, again, he was in the 60s in Devil's Cord, but things were a bit better by then in terms of that, and I don't think that's the point RTD was trying to make with the episode anyway. But in terms of, because obviously they've done the same with Jodie, you know, she was a woman, so witch trials, obviously she's going to get fucked for that. And obviously in Rosa, you know, Ryan and obviously, Ryan and Yaz obviously were different skin colours, so again, that's going to get mentioned in terms of the time they're in, because that was like obviously, what was that set? When's that set? Late 40s, early 50s, I think.
Something like that. I think it might be slightly older than that. Because remember, Martin Luther King era.
Yeah.
It was pretty early on in history.
Can't remember. But yeah, it's a dangerous time period is what I'm getting at. And in terms of like, it hadn't really clocked with me yet that like Nashuti and Virada Sefu, you know, they're playing. They're the first TARDIS team that's just non-white, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't even realised that.
Yeah.
They're the first TARDIS team which are non-white. So it hadn't clocked to me yet that if this was set in 1952 or any time they're going to go to the past, this is going to get brought up, obviously. And because we'd already seen, like, Nashuti's not had a story yet that's been that deep enough in history. There was Dot and Bubble, but that was more futuristic. But obviously it was making a point of, well, you as the audience, will you notice that?
Yeah.
And it was clever. I'll give her that. I just wish they handled it better. But it was clever. And obviously his reaction at the end to when she fucks off just because of the colour of his skin, you know, that was really like, oh shit, this is what it's about then. But with this, and because I hadn't realised, like, there in the past history, when that came on the screen, now, I don't know if it's trying to get a point of, like, we're ignorant as a viewer, and maybe just how our society is, but I didn't realise that until it was brought up. It's like, oh shit, yeah, they're in the fucking early 50s. They're a completely different skin colour. They could, you know, it's dangerous.
For me, it was sitting at the back of my mind, but I don't know if that's because I'm a bit more tuned into acting now than I ever was.
Maybe.
Because I've also thinking as well, it's weird in a sense, to some degree, having a British show tackle segregation. Because when we talk about the black community, we either talking about it as in what's happening today, or what happened all those years ago with the slaves.
Yeah.
We don't really talk about segregation because it's not a thing over here.
Yeah, exactly.
But Britain, it never happened. It's pure American history.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, we all learned about it.
Yeah, of course.
Because of how important it's one of those American pieces of history that it's so important that every country, I would say, kind of learns it.
Yeah.
But it is a pure American thing. We are to just slavery, mostly. Because even the stuff that's happening today, it's mostly American culture.
So true. Yeah, exactly.
The problem.
Yeah.
It's deep into us, but that's all because we are getting more of the American influence than ever before. Through social media and everything else. But it's still not a big thing over here. Because we can walk around with the black community and interact with them. Yes, things will be said and people will turn their nose up, and the older generation will say immigration is a big problem, all that.
That's
but
a sad thing about it.
Beyond that, we don't really see it as a problem the way American society do. Because American society see it as the be all and end all of all the problems.
Yes, exactly.
It's like, there's other problems in there. Take what's going on with the rich society and the government society. There's your problem, not the 10%.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's certainly not the 1% of the LGBTQ community either.
Yeah, exactly.
That they're turning all the problems onto.
Exactly. And if anyone fucking comments on my fucking video or flags me for this being woke or whatever, you can fuck right off, because this is the problems in the world right now, and it's fucking real, it's dangerous, it's topical, it has to be brought up. Now, I know when RTD was writing this, he probably didn't have any of that in mind.
No.
But it's a point of what you just said, you know, stop focusing on
the minorities.
Stop focusing on the minorities of people who are just trying to fucking live, exist, neurodivergency, trans people, blacks, other ethnic descent, it doesn't matter. It's it's your community, and like, why isn't America focusing on, you know, the money problem, the taxes problem, the inflation problem?
I think
it's so annoying.
Because as I've said before, I watched YouTube TikToker who's Canadian and is a private school teacher.
Yeah.
And it proves a very good point. I'm not too sure over here because it's kind of mixed on our education system over here, but it seems to prove a point that Canada are more in tune to how America is run, how they do business, how they run the country, than the average American people.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
It's like sometimes, and that could be said for anybody across the world, do me a favour, go back to school, do your research before spouting your mouth off, because that can just cause more problems, because unless you actually understand history and science and nature, you don't understand what you're saying, because what you're saying is completely incorrect half the time, because you do not understand the fundamentalities of the three main categories: nature, science and history. Because if you actually understood them, then you realise that a lot of things are broken down into individual things and have to be taken as individual things, not in one massive blob of nonsense.
Yeah, exactly. We had a huge debate about all this yesterday whilst we were out, but it's just because of how shitty the world is right now.
And people like this I worry about.
And you?
Mostly you, because I can survive. Because I'm at the tail end of the spectrum. Whereas with you and the autism and neurodiversity stuff, science proves what we already know. Not airborne bullshit that Kennedy Jr. spouting at the moment.
Vaccines. Anyway. Right. Anyway.
Let's not get it too political here.
Right. Anyway, so what we were actually talking about, so I'm glad that was brought up. You know, it has to be mentioned and something like that. They are in a dangerous situation in the early 50s in Miami. And the 4 a.m. thing, I didn't realise how important that was until they got elaborated on it. Like, oh yeah, this is late at night. And there were a few good, you know, cafes and stuff like that who weren't so fucking racist and did just let these people in and, you know, have a coffee.
Yeah, because the last one even turned to the guy by the counter and going, Can I break the rules here? Yeah. Well, I don't care. Do what you want.
Yeah, and I didn't even realise.
I hear nothing, I hear nothing.
I didn't even realise at first what that meant.
But it's only because it is late at night, nobody's around. If it was more busier, the police were around a bit more, because obviously back then they would be on patrol a lot more than they are now, because of how the police system was just run in every country. Yeah. They were more on foot than running around in cars and stuff, so they were on patrol a lot more. And you had a bigger police force than we do now as well. They've downsized the police force a lot over the years with cuts and stuff. So that's why it's like, well, there's not enough people around for me to even bother caring anyway. I don't care, but if more people were around, then I might have said something just to protect me and my business.
Yeah. Right. We're half an hour in, so I think because you've brought up because you've mentioned that, like, the whole Moonlight and, you know, why they just burned the film reels earlier and that, right? So, problems, at least for me personally, Lynn might not agree with us so much, but we've not really talked about the visuals of the episode, which is weird, but I suppose what we're about to say actually taps into that. But to me the visuals don't really matter. It's the story that I was, I'm engaged in. To me, flashy cartoon animation that's mixing live action, which I'm surprised Doctor's not done before, but I think that's just because they never had the budget to do so. That can only get you so far. To me, it's a story I care about, and well, we're both on the opinion of the first half was better than the second half. The second half, right? The fans. Now, that was funny and it was nice. Like, I like that idea of like, it connects us with the show, and I get what they're trying to do with it. And we've not watched Unleashed yet, but I'm gonna guess they were real fans that were in that episode. And yes, I saw their collection Blu-ray box sets in the background.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Did you not notice that? No. Yeah, I noticed. That's all I was looking at when watching the scene.
Oh, well.
I was trying to see what seasons they had.
Of course you will.
But with their little collection box sets and their fucking fezzes and Tom Baker scars and the little Daleks about the place. Yes, that's fandom.
I did like the Tiger Man thing.
Yeah, the Telos one. I like that. That was my favourite bit of merchandise we were. We're getting geeky about that. Like what
that video, me, I'm a Tiger Man fan.
What they were wearing. Yeah, that is fandom. And even the Meep T-shirt, which is current for this era, of course. I get it. It's fine. It was nice when it started off for me anyway. It was like, right, okay, the show's tapping into fandom. It's broke the fourth wall before many times. I don't care when it does it. It doesn't bother me. But I think just for me, you can only go so far with it. And this scene, right, I like the fan saying thanks to the Doctor. She literally said, I wouldn't have met my two best friends if it wasn't for you. That is really lovely. That is so heartwarming because we wouldn't have known each other if it wasn't for this show. It's a beautiful thing. It's a really beautiful thing.
I've made so many friends out of it.
Yeah, and I appreciate RTD, tapping into that and engaging us with it. But I think because of where it was left for me. Like, it was sort of brief couple of minutes scene and we left it there. And as I said, like, we were, like, I knew by that point we were coming towards the end of the episode and I was like, where's all the flashy animation that we've not really had? And that's what I wanted those couple of minutes to be dedicated to be. And I would have much rather had that. It's just what I wanted. I wanted crazy, wacky visuals and more cartoon stuff. And the bit when they kept, like, pulling down the frames. That was pretty clever. I like that.
See, for me, it reminded me of Legend.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was
doing that type of animation style.
It's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, and you can tell they were inspired by Looney Tunes a bit in this as well. But I mean, the bit when they were animated, it was alright. I mean, obviously, they realised the more they become less like a cartoon, the more real they become, obviously. So that was fine, clever way of getting out of it, But because of that little fandom scene, it was fine. I was like, I can let this go, but that was me in the moment. What came afterwards for me has just made me really dislike that scene. And, people are going to be like, oh, stop being so, like up about it, it's just a fandom scene. It's like, I know that, but you can only go, I mean, because obviously, like, the Doctor and Belinda were saying they're not real. So obviously it's a thing of, well, we're real, but they're not real. It's like that different perspectives thing. And to be honest, I thought they were all going to be Mr. Rhinodyne in disguise or some shit. I thought
that would have been clever.
That's what I mean. You could have had, like, imagine if all the scarves and shit became animated. See, that's what I mean. Missed opportunity. That's what I wanted. I thought Mr. Rhinodyne was just going to be like a host for them or something. I would have loved that. And his arms and his legs start coming out in multiple directions. That would have been so cool. But because of what happened afterwards with I'm not happy with the resolution in this at all. Yes, it's light energy. I get that. Yes, he becomes fucking massive and goes off in the sky. I just laughed at it because I thought it was kind of ridiculous. But yeah, he's a god and he's trying to become 3D and stuff. By the way, I thought the 3D visuals on him were utter shit. Yeah, he was probably meant to look a bit horrifying, but Jesus Christ, like,
it's way back into what I was saying earlier. You could have made him a bit more melodrama.
Exactly. Yeah, and yeah, obviously he would become 3D the more he gets real, of course, because he's going from 2D to 3D. But I really hated the CGI in that scene, like, because it just, to me, this is gonna sound stupid, it doesn't look real. And maybe that's the point. He is a cartoon becoming real life, but it's just like, if this is meant to be him as an actual part of our world, that's my problem with CGI in general. It just doesn't look real enough. I hate. It's not just that. There's plenty of things in CGI. That's why I just prefer actual. Like, if this was classic Who, they would have built a big fucking rubbish like puppet of him, and which, yeah, it does look a bit cheap, but I would have preferred that. I think that would have been really like tongue in cheek, but right. Obviously now, yes, it's been stated, right. Obviously, he got fucking scalded on his hand, and yes, I suppose it's the way our human bodies work. We regenerate ourselves, don't we? Technically, so yeah, but by generation, which that made me go, oh, okay, because I thought it was a one-off thing. Now, yes, we don't know that now. Lynn was saying to me, take it for what it is, and think about ahead. But the problem is, when watching episodes on television, I don't think ahead. Not anymore, at least. If this was like 10 years ago, I would have been. I'm just so caught in this is where we are now, and this is what's been in the past.
Yeah, it's more of one of those ones. You don't have to like everything, but when something's presented to you more than once, it's part of the law now to some degree. Just accept it. If you don't like it and know that, move on.
I know.
It's the same with the child stuff. People went up and arms, went, oh, that ruins the continuity, that.
Poor William Hartnell.
No, it does not. Because at the end of the day, all it's doing is going,
ruins his legacy.
Here's 2015 now. Here's what we've got. All that has happened because that's what the Doctor remembered.
Yeah.
Everything else is a mystery.
Yeah.
We know they're no longer a Time Lord as we know them, so there could be something else. Brings back mystery to Doctor Who.
Yeah, it does, exactly. That's what it did.
And it'll be explored and scattered bits throughout the next foreseeable future. But I think it's just one of those things. It's brought up in the 60th anniversary. It was a throwaway thing. It's done now. Then they decided to bring it back up, and they probably will bring it back up again.
No, I don't doubt it.
Just let it play out and see where it goes. It might turn into something. It might be a whole load of crap by the end of it. Who knows? But right now, just accept it and let it be. If you don't like it, you don't like it. You don't have to like everything.
My worry is it'll be a whole load of crap in the end. But no.
It may be.
You can tell because of the Timeless Child stuff, RTD is taking advantage of that now.
Yeah,
like, oh yeah,
not?
No, exactly. Like, the Doctor, as far as we know, is not a Time Lord, There's something else, and we still don't know what that is. And I don't know for what. But this is the thing, it's put the Who back into Doctor Who, you know. You're not meant to know.
It's no different to...
It's mystery.
It's no different to the movie going, oh, the Doctor's half human.
Which I really fucking
hate. Nobody liked it, and even back then nobody liked it.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day...
Chibnall doing that
might have not... I understand where people were coming from back then. It might have not made sense.
It's an American thing that people were
fair
saying.
Enough. And that's fine. But now that we do have a piece of the puzzle called the Timeless Child, it makes
sense. I know.
Maybe the Doctor, or human by some sort of definition, maybe not human as in earthborn human.
Yeah.
Maybe human as in because we know from other stories that we've left Earth and we've populated other planets, so it might be human as in human from a different planet.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. I think the thing is with all that is, like, it's... because the Timeless Child stuff, and the half-human thing and bi-generation, like, it's made it all fit in that sense, I guess bi-generation can be a thing. We don't know what the fuck the Doctor is, but I think maybe just because I'm so used to, classic really. It's not, and for people who will go like, oh, you only like Hartnell to Capaldi, no, that's not the case at all. Okay, because there's stuff from the modern era, Eccleston onwards, that pisses me off, but the show's a bit changing and evolving. But I think because I don't really tend to watch New Who a lot, I watch the classic era a lot more and I love it. It's just my Doctor Who. and it's more uniformed, which I like as well. But it's that kind of, I think because I'm so used to what's in the past, like, because even I said this to you, even the fucking bit in Angels Take Manhattan when the Doctor repairs River's hand because it's broken, I don't like that. I really don't like
But
that.
that's no different to Let's Kill Hitler when he passed on regeneration and all.
Yeah, but I suppose because I think of it as what it was then, it pissed me off more.
And you've got to kind of get out of that mindset.
Yeah.
And that's what I was trying to tell you earlier.
Yeah.
Kind of get out of that mindset and accept them for what they are. You don't have to like them, just accept them.
I'm trying to accept them, but...
And that can be said for a lot of things in this world right now.
Oh,
just accept them. Whether you like it or not, just accept it for what it is and move on. Not worth fighting over.
No, it's not. There's a lot of like things about this, but like I'm trying to accept it, but I don't like it. I don't like the Doctor. I don't like the Doctor passing on regeneration energy and trying to repair people. To me, they are one entity. They should be themselves. They should only regenerate and like no one else in that sense. And like the hand thing, it was like, and it's. I think if you just said regeneration, I would have liked it more, but it's because it's that like, oh, it's by generation now. I'm like,
but you've got to take it as a subcategory as well. It's a new thing, you've got to take it as a subcategory.
I know.
And remember, the Doctor...
Not used to it yet.
The Doctor's unique. It might not be a timeless thing to be able to pass things on.
Yeah, I know.
It might be a Doctor unique thing because of where he came from and what he... Because remember, if you look at Time of Self-Trip again, he was experimented on that much.
Yeah.
Things could have changed and went away.
Yeah, I think it's just getting used to it. That's the thing, and maybe because I've not watched Modern Who as much as Classic Who, it's just not clocking it all for me. Which is what our marathon's going to hopefully change. So yeah, to me that's when it started to become a bit problematic, and then fucking Mr. Renadine feeding off the regeneration era just because. I really don't like that.
That's been done before.
I know it has been. I know it has been. I didn't like it then. I still don't like it now. It's just like, what? It felt like it was making up as it was going along. We're gonna have to wrap this up because we're running out of camera space. But the one question I want to ask you is, because when that happened with Mr. Renadine, and then the fandom came back up in the credits, and they literally said that started off well, and it got rubbish towards the end. It's like, oh, is that what you're writing, RTD? Is that you going, yeah, I'll fucking manipulate you, fandom, so I start off well, I'll make it become shit because I know you aren't going to like it, and I'll put yous in at the end. That's what it feels like. And I was like, I fucking hate you, because that's exactly what you've done to us, the fandom. You've manipulated us into feeling that way. It's like, because that's what our opinion's going to be. See, it's Moffat all over again. It's like, oh, I'm Mr. Clever. But anyway, my question for you is, do you like the fandom being in the television show itself canonised in that sense, or does it feel weird to you? Because it feels weird to me now.
I don't mind it.
Because of the resolution.
But at the end of the day, it's not canonised because it was part of Renadine's mind games.
I know.
So it's not really canonised in any way.
It's not.
It's just about a creative fun.
I suppose. I mean, like
wacky.
I mean, putting it into the show.
No, it didn't bother me. I didn't find that hilarious.
It was funny. It's kind of nice, and
overall, the episode was just a big ball of wacky, strange, bit of fun.
Well, I'll say that fandom thing, it's a very RTD thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see it in the writing. But yeah, just to wrap this up, she said it was a fucking 10 out of 10. It was like, what? Sorry, absolutely not. I've not even told her my score yet. Because it started off well, that was the thing. Because I really did like that first half. I only got 6.5.
Not bad.
So it's just above average.
Yeah, not bad.
I'm sorry.
Decent score.
It's just that second half, like, because I was really sceptical. I've been sceptical about this whole season to begin with. I've not been excited at all, and I think it's just, this is the note I'm going to end on. This was the one thing I was really looking forward to in this season. It was the thing. Like, I was not excited by anything else, but when I knew they were doing cartoon and live action, I was like, yeah, this is what I want from the program. And because it was that one thing I was really holding on to and wanting, and I was so excited last night and today. I felt excitement for the show currently. It's nice to feel that again. To be disappointed by it, it is tragic. and I'm sure you've been like that with television shows in the past as well.
Oh,
You know, it's not done it for me.
Okay.
And you know, people are probably gonna hate me because I know loads of people seem to be fucking loving this episode. Which, you know, if you enjoy it, that's fine. But it's just that second half, because I wanted that second half to be wacky, cartoon, crazy visuals. You know, I wanted them to take advantage of that, and they just didn't. That's all. So yeah, 6.5 from me. A 10, still a 10 out of...
Yep, that was him.
Fucking hell, okay. I think we're going to rewatch...
I thought they were roll for me.
That, which people were... Yeah, I mean, that's still my favourite in the Shooty episode. And this didn't even top that, which I was hoping it would. But yeah, I mean, I think we will rewatch it. See if you maybe feel lesser about it. See if I feel better about it.
You might feel better about it because I think it's one of those ones for some people it might take 2 watches.
So maybe it is. Maybe it's
You
strong as
can grasp
episodes.
it a bit better than not pick at it too much.
I feel like Dot and Bubble's an example of that, but we've not rewatched it. But maybe the second time we watch it, we might actually
I don't know.
grasp onto it.
I don't know.
Anyway, we're going to wrap this up with 46 minutes. Do you want to do... Is there any point in shouting your... Do you want to do your usual stuff? Links in the description.
If you want to follow me, I'm on most social media networks anyway, so Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Blue Sky, Thread, Pinterest, well, everything I'm there. Just look for Abby Coffee and you'll find me with most of them. It's mostly just coffee stuff, and I'm updating currently updating the stuff at the moment, and what will be coming up very soon when I have some time to edit some stuff will be the Dalek build.
Yes.
So I'm doing that mostly in Python and text form, but we have a wee bit of video, but it should be going up fairly soon, I hope. And other than that, I think vlogs and coffee. So if you like our content, come join me. Oh, and please check out my coffee. That would be a real big help, because I can't do what I do without the support from people.
Right. Excellent timing. But yes, go and support her. We'll see you next week for The Well. Is that what it's called?
I think it's the Well.
Yeah.
And I think that'll be the one with Rose.
Possibly, I don't
If
know.
it is, then that will be a great achievement for me, because it's the first deaf actress we've actually had in Doctor Who.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. Anyway, it looks very good. Right. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all soon. Goodbye.